Dear viewers across the world, most welcome to my channel NAGA World Conflict Zone. The skunk, another Israeli weapons for collective punishment. Palestine protesters react as Israeli police fire strong water during protest against the forced evictions of Palestinians from their homes in the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood of occupied East Jerusalem on May 5, 2021. Reuters Ammar Awad credited. In Nazareth, Haifa, Ramallah, Jerusalem, and beyond, Palestinians have been demonstrating against the ongoing ethnic cleansing at the hands of the Israeli regime, motivated and inspired by the steadfast resistance of the Palestinian family facing forced evictions from their homes in the neighborhood of the Sheikh Jarrah in Jerusalem. They have bravely taken to the streets, bravely because they do so, knowing that what awaits them is brutal crackdown by the Israeli army and the police. Indeed, at Al-Aqsa compound, where much of the violence against protesters has taken place, Palestinians were tear gassed and fired at as they prayed. Fourth South, Israel has launched air raid in Gaza, hitting civilian buildings and killing over 200 people, including at least 66 children. In addition to those killed, hundreds have been injured by live and rubber bullets, tear gas, and beatings, but also by weapon that is lesser known that the global media covering the protest, many have enormously referred to it as a water cannon or a Suez truck. In Arabic, we call it the kharara, literally the shitar, for its putrid smell in English. It is called skunk water after the notoriously awful smell released by skunk. Skunk water was developed as a crowd control weapon by an Israeli company called Odortech. Skunk water is a liquid compound with an overpowering odor that has been described by those who have experienced it as the smell of Suez mixed with rotting corpse. In reality, it is a concoction of chemicals that causes intense nausea, obstructing normal breathing, causing violent gagging and vomiting. The company's safety sheet also indicates that it can cause skin irritations, eye and abdominal pain. Palestinians have also reported that it causes hair loss also. Security forces that use skunk water claim that it is non-lethal and non-toxic, yet high doses can have a lethal effect, and when it is fired from a water cannon, it is sprayed at extremely high pressure, which can cause serious injury. Even a small spray of skunk water leaves a stench on the skin for days, on clothes, and in buildings. The stains can last even longer. Of course, the Israeli forces do not only use it to suppress protest, they also deploy it for collective punishment. Skunk trucks pass through the Palestine neighborhoods, spraying buildings in retaliations for local residents protesting Israeli occupations and apartheid. As a result, businesses have to close for days and families have to leave their homes for long period of time until stains is gone. This is what makes it a brutal collective punishment tools. Apart from selling skunk water to the Israeli government to use on Palestinians, Odortech also export it in the United States. It is supplied by the company Ministerial Security, which recommends its uses at border crossings, correctional facilities, demonstrations, and sit-ins. Several police departments have already bought it, including the one in Sarzion, Ferguson, Missouri, following the 2015 protest against police brutality and institutional racism. The fact that these weapons developed by an Israeli company is gaining popularity abroad is unsurprising. Israel is the largest per capita exporter of the arm in the world, and it uses Palestinians as its guinea pigs to demonstrate their efficacy and deadliness. Odortech and other Israeli arms manufacturers do not even have to invest in marketing their weapons. New channels running footage of brutal attack by the Israeli army do the job for them. Israeli companies that produces weapons for mass killing had Gaza to test them on. The Israelis had even called the densely populated strips where civilians are not protected by an iron dome or sophisticated military shelter a cash cow, the horrific outcome of decades of the Israeli arms companies testing practice had been thousands of killed and maimed Palestinians. Israel export arms tested on Palestinian civilians to around 130 countries, including to governments with horrific human rights record. For people in these countries who find themselves on the receiving end of the aggression by local forces using Israeli weapons, Palestinians have plenty of advice, especially for dealing with Kharara. We recommend the following. If it gets on your skin, rub tomatoes and olive oil to help get the smell off. If it gets on your clothes, it is better to throw them away. Overall, it is best to avoid getting sprayed at all cost. In dealing with the psychological effect of violent repressions and collective punishment, Palestinians also have a recommendations dark humor. The Kharara already features prominently in Palestine's jokes. One goes, what would you rather face, bullets or the Kharara? So, in this way, collective punishment is being applied on Palestinians by Israel apartheid countries.